And let me just remind you, some Mondays feel more like other Mondays. And today, I think, is one of those that certainly feels like a Monday. It's been a soggy day across the Houston area. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist John Dawson. Want to jump on real quick, just kind of give you an update of sort of where we find ourselves in this current weather event, if you want to kind of get that big of what we're calling it. We're going to have several days of rain, and that's going to potentially lead to some flooding issues. It's certainly something that's an underlying concern as we move through these days. I'm thankful, though, that it looks like the strongest of what we were expecting for today has probably made its way through the downtown Houston area, but we're not done with rain, and we're not done with the threat of even a little bit of flooding. So that's something we're going to look at. That was the Southwest Freeway right in front of the TV station. As far as what we can expect for the rest of Monday, we are keeping things at a Fox 26 storm alert day because as this line continues to clear, we are looking at these isolated intense downpours to sort of kind of continue to move across. And they could easily sort of begin to train a little bit where they hit the same spot repeatedly. And that will be a concern for that short-term street flooding. And that's, again, why we're going to be cautious as we move through the rest of today. So overall, when we get to the overnight hours for Monday evening, I do expect a break in the showers, at least the heavier downpours. We might still have some light rain during the overnight, but we will see more rain coming back into the forecast once we get into Tuesday. Interesting that my computer's decided it's a 79% chance. Normally we round that up to 80, but that's just how we're going to do things today. I think we'll call it a 79% chance of rain for tomorrow. About 80%, I think, is what we would normally call that, and then even higher chances once we get into Wednesday. And we're not, again, saying for sure it's a 90% or 79% that there will be flooding, but for sure there will be some rain, and that threat for flooding remains. And so the Fox 26 storm alert day, all 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We're fairly confident in the amount of rain that we're looking for. And we're having all this rain right now because of the upper level dynamics here in the jet stream as an upper level system. This continues to move across the nation, making our part of the country very wet with lots of rain. I'm going to show you some other parts of the country that are looking at frozen precipitation, but I just want to set us up and say that there's another system back behind this one, and that's why we're keeping this chance of rain going here for multiple days. This is our satellite and radar imagery. You're pretty accustomed to seeing this. It's got our cloud cover on it. We're also looking at some of that wind flow. The east, north, southeast winds really a bit breezy this afternoon, bringing in more of that moisture. As I mentioned, let's just say south of the Red River, Texas, mostly liquid precipitation. Once you get into Oklahoma and especially over into Arkansas and up through Missouri, even further up towards the Great Lakes, there's more of an ice threat that's happening. And that's something that we'll kind of keep an eye on for those folks. But again, for us, we're really just expecting to see rain and plenty of it. We've seen some heavy downpours moving through in the last 30 minutes. I've got the lightning counter on here as well, indicating those lightning strikes. Reasonable amounts, but certainly some thunder and lightning. There's not an expectation of damaging winds. I'm going to talk more about the severe weather threat here in a moment, but I want to just sort of, again, focus on our radar at this time. That heavier line of storms is now over more in the 69-59 corridor, moving up all the way up to Lake Livingston. But behind that, there is a weaker, not nearly as organized line. It's more of a scattered nature of these showers and downpours that are stretching back out to the west. That continues to be something that we'll expect to see for the rest of the evening. So for Monday, the Weather Prediction Center has this yellow shading representing a 15% chance of some flooding that will be happening. And that's going to be short-term flooding, mostly just in the streets, not looking for homes to be inundated or anything along those lines. When we switch to Tuesday, the area gets even larger. That's those rounds of rain that we're talking about. And then when we get into Wednesday, that threat, the higher threat at least, slides over a little further to the east, but we're still sort of caught here on the corner of things where we could have that 15% chance of that secondary threat or that lower 5% chance of isolated happening, at least not favored, but again, possible for happening, especially once we've already piled on some rain over a couple days, period. Now let's talk about that severe weather. Now remember, when we say severe, when you hear meteorologists say severe weather, we're focused on tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail. Those three things help sort of make up a definition of severe weather in a meteorological sense. So again, if you hear a meteorologist saying that, they're very specific on what they're talking about. So when I say a severe outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, this is what we would look for, and we are not looking for that severe storm. This green that I'm showing you is this lighter shade of green. So it's unlikely to have a severe storm, but certainly there's thunderstorms out there. We've seen that right now happening, and some of those could create even some flooding, but we're not talking about the severe threat when we, again, talk about like damaging winds. Now for tomorrow, Tuesday, we have that increased a notch. It's the lowest threat level, but certainly possible. So while our storm coverage tomorrow might actually be a little less, and our chances of rain, as I mentioned, are maybe even a little less, if you see a storm, it has a higher probability of being a stronger storm or possibly even a severe storm. So it's relatively low. We're on that 1 out of 5 threat, but just sort of keep that in mind as we're moving through these several days. Tomorrow's storms look to be a little bit stronger overall. So as I mentioned, the Fox 26 Storm Alert Day is for today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. We'll continue to see rounds each day, and then over that period, there will be rounds overall. And some of those could be even stronger on Tuesday. We'll have more on Wednesday. A flooding threat for sure each day as we kind of begin to add up some of those inches. And if we look at that 3-day total of what we could see as much as 4 to 7 inches of rain adding up over that time period, and then isolated areas could even be in that 6 to 8 inch range perhaps. So this is what the Weather Prediction Center is expecting over a 5-day period. So I was talking about a 3-day accumulation with that 4 to 7. The Weather Prediction Center puts out a 5-day expectation, and you can see this is well over 5 inches for parts of the viewing area. Breaking this down a little bit, we've talked about the rain today. At the moment, it looks like the focus will be a little shifted to the north. You can see downtown Houston here a little further to the north on the intensity for tomorrow, but I still think there's certainly a possibility to see some stronger storms for the city of Houston. And then again, more rounds on Wednesday. Confidence is a little less on what's going to happen on Thursday, but I certainly think there's going to be rain in the forecast, and looks like that could even possibly linger into Friday. I think Friday for sure will be lighter showers. It won't be quite as strong. So let's look at some of our computer models. This is the European model. This is going to be what we're expecting. Again, accumulation of rain for Monday through Thursday at noon. That's in that 4+ inches for much of us. Some of the isolated spots more in the 2 to 4. So that's what the European model says. We'll switch gears now and go to the American model, or the GFS. When we add that together, you'll notice it's a little more aggressive and doing a pretty good job. This is where we saw the higher amounts of rainfall today. And then as we move into Tuesday, it stays to the northwest, and then possibly late Tuesday into Wednesday, we're really spreading this out, and we're really continuing to add the inches up, where we might get closer to that 6 inch or maybe even 7 inches of rain through Thursday at noon. So that's why we have the Fox 26 Storm Alert Day today. We're going to look for those showers and storms to continue to move out. Here's that break I was talking about. Tuesday morning very early, or tonight, we get a little bit of a break. You'll still see that lighter green representing some of the showers, and then that focus shifting a little bit further to the north once we get into a later time period on Tuesday. So unlike today when we had a lot of rain in the morning, I think maybe tomorrow, Tuesday, the heavier bands of rain wait till later in the afternoon hours, maybe even into the early evening hours. And as I mentioned, right now, the Weather Prediction Center, or the Storm Prediction Center, thinking that some of those stronger storms could certainly be happening on Tuesday as well. So let me back out of the way here for just a quick moment, giving you an update on the 7-day forecast for us. We'll look for those rain chances on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The Thursday time frame, as I mentioned, a little less confident, but certainly expecting some rain. maybe just not those heavy downpours that would cause problems, but overall the pattern would be one that we're drying out a little as we begin to head into the weekend. I think we'll have lots of sunshine as we roll into the weekend. And so just to kind of conclude, I just want to remind you that a lot of times when we talk about, oh, we're going to get 2 to 4 inches of rain, and if we think of that in a summer setting, like when we're in June or July or especially even August, that 2 to 4 inches of rain, unless it's been doing that often, will really get soaked up a lot by the ground because of all the heat that we have to help really dry things out. This time of the year, our soil is a little bit more holding of water in general because it doesn't get as dried out as quickly from the heat because we don't have the heat or in the direct sunshine. So when we get 2 to 4 inches of rain this time of the year, it has a little bit more of an impact. It has more runoff to it. It's not soaked up quite as much. So we'll continue to watch the bayous and some of the streams, and we'll see how those flows are. Right now, everything's in good shape. But as that continues to add up over the next days, that will help or contribute to backing up into our roadways as well. So bottom line, stay connected. Let's stay safe as we move through the next several days. And we'll see how things unfold with this rain. We're certainly expecting plenty of opportunities, at least, of rainfall through Wednesday night.